All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another MUFC Agenda video. It's Sunday morning after what was yesterday a very, very poor result. And we've had absolutely bomber breaking news this morning. The news of Dan Ashworth being relieved of his duties, and he has left Manchester United by mutual agreement. As you can see, the quote just below, Dan Ashworth will be leaving his role as Sporting Director of Manchester United by mutual agreement. But as you see in our title, we have put sacked because, let's be honest, a mutual agreement is you've got the tic-tac and you weren't good enough at your job. But what does this mean? I mean, something that I don't think I and many other fans were expecting. I don't think if you'd said yesterday Dan Ashworth will be getting the tic-tac tomorrow after the game, I mean, no one would have said, oh yeah, 100% stick a file on that, because no one thought it was happening. There was no rumbles about it. And then boom, he's absolutely lost his job. Yeah, mutual agreement, this and that. But let's be honest, you have been sacked. And what does this mean for Manchester United going forward? Talk about the windows. I mean, we'll talk about that in a sec. But what does this actually mean? Do Ineos know what they're doing? Do they know what they're doing? That is a question that I have wrote down on my piece of paper. I've got a few bullet points to talk through. Do they know what they're doing? We've seen in the past with, obviously, Nice, their other club, that they've had a few managers under Ineos, and obviously in the space, or in less than 1 year, we have had under Ineos a new manager. They've hired Dan Ashworth, and then they've got rid of him within 5 or 6 months. What is that about? Do they know what they're doing? Can they control a football club? Because this is showing signs of very irresponsible and volatile actions. I mean, just because things aren't going right doesn't mean you've got to start looking at your members and going, yeah, you're gone, let's replace him with someone new. We don't want to become Chelsea, even though they are doing well now. At first, under Todd Bowley, it was just spend money on the problem, spend money on the problem. We need to figure things out. What is Amarin supposed to do if the people above him are chopping and changing? You know what I mean? This doesn't just affect the top. This comes all the way down to the bottom, as we have seen over the last few years. Well, over the last 10, 15 years, the top is where it all feeds down from. And if the top's not in a mess, then the recruitment's in a mess, the team's in a mess, and the results are in a mess. And that has shown over the last few years, after many years since Sir Alex Ferguson has gone, it's been all messy upstairs. So, yeah, Ineos have brought in this team structure, but if they're going to rip it apart when things aren't going right, is it a sign of strength? Is it a sign of, well, we're strong, we don't want you, you're not good enough, get out? Or is it a sign of weakness and be like, well, we don't know what we're really doing here, so you're not going to stay, you're gone. You know what? You've not done very well recently, you could go. Is it that, or is it a sign of panic? Are they panicking? We've had a few bad results. Nothing to do with Amarin for me personally. We know the lack of quality in the squad is starting to show. The bounce hasn't been amazing, but yeah, this is looking. You just got to. I'm not blaming Ineos here. I'm not going in at Ineos 100%. I'm just giving it as a devil's advocate. Just saying, can we start looking at them? Are we looking at them maybe with a little bit of a side eye? Just like, okay, we understand it, but any more of this, and we're going to start looking at you as inequipped for the job, or I don't know the word, but just not very good for this job. We'll see, I suppose. We'll see. But yeah, big news, massive news. I was not expecting Dan Ashworth to be gone. Considering what we had to do with Newcastle to get him out, it was months, felt like weeks and months of dealing with Newcastle, only to end up paying $3 million. Basically ruining ruining our reputation with Newcastle. Not that we had a crazy one, but if we ever wanted to go and get a player, I doubt is there even a chance now. And then just to throw him in the bin when things start going wrong. I mean, there must be something clearly in the pipeline, because I don't know. It just seems very odd to just go. No, it just seems very odd to just get rid of him. I've seen there's a few quotes on social media saying that it's been a bit in doubt for a couple of weeks, and since Amarim appointment, since the Ten Hag sacking, Dan Ashworth hasn't been too happy, because his idea was to bring in a British manager, and maybe Sir Jim was like, okay, well, you've clearly got a very biased view, but we want an open view, and we want to look in all different markets to try and work things out. I don't know. Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not, but there's definitely a few points to talk about. I mean, is it a sign of panic? I don't know. Could be. It couldn't be. And, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But then you've got to talk about, is this going to affect the January transfer window? We're never normally that busy in the January transfer window, but Ineos have just appointed a new manager in Ruben Amorim, getting used to the squad, and with back-to-back defeats, he is probably going to want some players that suit his system and suit the profile of his players in certain positions. I just wonder, with Dan Ashworth getting the TIC-TAC, is this going to affect the January transfer window? Are we going to be able to get signings now? Is there going to be a bit of an issue up top? Can we approach people properly without a director of football? And of course, you don't need one specifically to get signings, but is it going to affect it? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe players look at the top and think, well, looks a bit messy upstairs. What's going on? It's a bit messy. Why would I want to join a club that looks very unstable from the top and to the bottom? It could affect people wanting to actually join. It might not actually affect negotiations, but it could affect people willingness or players' willingness. It's like maybe Alphonso Davies. Maybe if Dan Ashworth is in the job, they see a bit more of a stable structure, and he goes, you know what, I'm liking where this is going. I like the manager. I like his ideas. His formation and tactics suit my style of play. Maybe Davies goes, I like that, but maybe now we approach him without a sporting director or director of football, whatever you want to call it. He goes, well, it just looks a bit messy, doesn't it? Oh, it looks very messy. I don't know. They've had a few dodgy results. The people upstairs look like they're panicking, not really knowing what to do. And maybe he doesn't even bother talking to us. You know what I mean? It could affect any sort of January talking, signings, anything like that. So I just worry if they don't get it sorted quickly, that it could affect January. And if they don't get it sorted even like after the winter window, could it affect the summer? I don't know. I'm not massive in this sporting director business and upstairs. I just know that we've recruited a lot of people, and the fact that we did this massive overhaul upstairs in the summer and to get rid of one of the main ones already, it is a worrying sign. But I suppose it's time will tell. Time will tell. I'm not going to go too into them. Obviously, I have kind of gone into them a little bit, but I just I do wonder. I definitely am going to be looking out for that because it's just interesting. Not that it's crazy, but well, it kind of is a bit crazy to be honest. I just didn't expect it, but we'll see. I suppose we'll just see. We'll keep an eye on it next year or so. If they've maybe got rid of Christopher Vavell or Omar Barada or Sir David Brailsford, I don't know. If they start doing things like that, then you've got to start looking at them like, okay, this is getting out of hand now. What are you doing? Are you Todd Bowley in disguise? Maybe we have got to start asking questions like that if it carries on. But I suppose we'll leave it. We'll leave it there for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Were you surprised as me? And were you surprised as everyone else? Because I think everyone was surprised. But let me know your thoughts on it. Is this Ineos losing control, or is it them making a statement saying, well, we like the best of the best. We're not happy with recruitment, because that was a few quotes that I saw. They weren't happy with the recruitment in the summer, and they've gone, well, okay, can't do your job properly, get out. Maybe that is the case, and hopefully it is, because I don't want us to be going down this very bad path that it looks like it could be. I'm hoping this is a good idea, and then we get the right man, and then it all settles down. Or probably not before the January transfer window, but the summer transfer window, and we can have a better summer window. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one for the matchday preview on the Europa League game.